One.
State police.
It's 911.
Yeah, can I help you?
This is Omar Thornton, the shooter over in Manchester.
Yes, where are you, sir?
I'm in the building. You probably want to know the reason why I shot this place up. This place here is a racist place.
Yep, I understand that.
They treat me bad over here, and treat all other black employees bad over here too. So I take it into my own hands and handle the problem. I wish I could have got more of the people.
Yeah. Are you armed, sir? Do you have a weapon with you?
Oh yeah, I'm armed.
How many guns do you have with you?
I got one now. There's one out in the factory there.
Yep. Okay, sir.
I'm not gonna kill nobody else though.
Yeah. We're gonna have you surrender yourself somehow here. Not make the situation any worse, you know what I mean?
These cops are gonna kill me.
No, they're not. We're just gonna have to get you to relax.
I'm relaxing, calm down.
To have you, turn yourself over.
You can be popular. You can play on the news. You can be popular here, man. Make sure you say the right thing. Yeah, this SWAT team just rolled by in Armageddon. You know where I'm at, but I don't know. Maybe you can see it from this phone call. But yeah, these people here are crazy, and they treat me bad since I started here. Racist company.
Yep.
Treat me bad. I'm the only black driver they got here.
Okay,
They treat me bad over here. Treat me bad all the time.
This is a horrible situation. I understand that.
Don't try to calm me down. I'm already calmed down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill anybody else. I just want to tell my story so you can say it back anyway.
Then you're gonna help me get you out of the building, okay?
Alright, I'm good. Don't worry about it. I got that taken care of. I don't need anybody talking to me to give me a husband on that.
Where in the building are you, Omar?
I can tell you that. When they find me, that's when everything will be over. But
yeah, just where are you located? Are you up in the offices?
when they find me, everything will be alright. Especially Manchester itself is a racist place.
Yeah. Now, what time did you get there today?
It was about 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This morning?
About 7 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
You come early today.
What type of weapon do you have?
I got a Ruger SR9.
Ruger?
Shot. Yeah.
SR9?
Automatic, yeah.
Is it a rifle?
No, that's a pistol. Nice pistol too, one of my favorites.
Now, you're gonna make the troopers and the people come in and get you? You're not gonna surrender yourself?
Well, I guess, maybe I'll surrender. Nah, they come and get me. Don't come get me.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to do it like that.
Yeah.
It's already been a bad enough scene here this morning. We want you to relax. Now,
I'm relaxed, though. I'm calm down now.
We don't want any more people to lose their life here.
I'm not going to kill nobody else.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not coming out where I'm at. I'm not coming out there to find them. Probably for some dogs or whatever. I don't know what they do. Anyway.
17 shots. How much ammunition you have with you?
I got a lot of shots left.
What's that?
Alright. I guess this conversation is over. I have to take care of business. Tell my people if I love them.
Yeah.
And I gotta go now.
Omar.
Yeah.
I really want you to help me stop this situation. Okay?
Okay.
If you work with me, we'll get this to stop. Okay? Omar. Oh. Omar. Omar. Okay. You still alive?
And that was Omar Thornton. After he shot 9 people in Connecticut back in 2010. And this is 2016, and we still have the same growing problem. Nobody's went crazy yet and shot up people. But I've noticed changes that started happening in most of these companies. And it's a shame that he had to lose his life in the process. Now, the company did say they had videotape of him stealing beer out of the company. This is a brewery, a beer brewery over in Connecticut. And they said they showed him the film, and then he just started going crazy and killing people. You know, that's what the company says. Now, that man had a girlfriend, a nice life, never caused any problems at the job. And he felt in his voice, as you can hear it, that he was treated very unfairly. And I have worked at a lot of warehouse jobs just to make, you know, some extra money on the side. Like, let me go ahead and make some extra money. Let me go ahead and make some extra money. Do a little temp work here, do a little temp work there at these machine jobs. But when I first started as a kid, first job I really had was a machine job at a steel factory. They make rings that go inside GMC. I didn't know I was going to be there for 10 years. I was there for 10 years and didn't even recognize it. I was the youngest person ever to work at my position. It started like a summer job and was basically a career. But the things he talked about, you also see, and I've also witnessed at a lot of these companies. Because after those, when I was in my 9.5 years, after 10 years, you go on salary. I would have been the youngest person ever in that company to go on salary. And therefore, they had to find a way to pay us my overtime separately, which means that I was going to get salary plus overtime because we were scheduled overtime. And the company was like, man, he's making way too much money for his position. And he's young. This guy's in his 20s. How are we going to deal with this? I don't know what we're going to do. But we got to pay him in just a few months. So they found a way where they pulled this garbage scheme on me, where they could find a way to try to have me suspended and terminated at this job. A place where everybody was your friend. The management smiled in your face. And right behind their back, they were trying to find ways to sabotage me. And other people who worked there didn't quite understand why. Like, why do they don't want you to make it? Like, what is it about you that irritates them so much? See, this is a family-ran business. And the family owned this business for years, and they hired their friends to run it. And to cut down on taxes, it's split into 3 different companies within one facility. A lot of companies are like this. It helps with, it gives you a great big tax release. And saying, instead of stating you make this much money a month, you're now making, this company makes this much, this company make this much. We just share the whole building. They split the building into like sections and said, oh, well, this area here is its own business. So each family member had a business in there that was worth millions. But in total reality, the company altogether was making at least $18 million a month on average. In my section, we were making way more, almost 30 to 40% more than when I started. The largest increase in any section in the company's history. But I was the only black guy working there in that position. No black guy they ever hired could stay. They found a reason to either terminate themselves or management didn't deem them worthy. So after my situation, and then I left, they started a new structure immediately after I left, to where the temp workers now will come in and they would try to teach them how to do everyone else's job. They were trying to find a way to terminate full-time employees for temp workers because of the economic crash in 2006 and 2007. This stuff was going down fast. The company was losing millions and millions of dollars because basically all their people were outsourcing. They were losing contracts with some of their biggest companies. And once that started happening, you can't charge those inflatable rates that you were. We had exclusive machinery. The diagrams and everything else have been copywritten and trademarked, so could no one else duplicate it. So the Chinese were trying to pay anything to try to find out exactly, get the diagrams to make a machine exactly the way our machine is. And they've come close. People go to these trade shows to see these machines, and they've come close. But it was like not quite. But by now, like people saying, like 3-4 years, they're gonna have your machine, and when they have it cloned all the way, it's over. Like completely. Now I could have sued and put the company through and put myself through a whole bunch of strain, and I'm just like, I didn't need it. I was far too talented for that job anyway. Now I make double what I make. So now when I was going to other jobs, it was a hobby. To stay active, to stay in the workforce. I didn't have to do this anymore. So when I went to the other machine shop jobs, they were a lot different. They weren't as structured as the one I used to work in. Now this is like the post-apocalyptic machine shops. This is like after the economic crash. You have, I swear to God, this is like one of the third biggest companies in the world. In the world. They have facilities all over this place. And I'm working at one of their places, and I swear to you, this is a plastics company. They have all of their, almost 60 to 70% of their employees are all from a temp agency. Then the agency, for certain positions that they have, would send a group of employees over to this company to work for the day. Then you go there to work for the day, and you think you're going to work for the day, but you really don't. You can go in there, then the company decides, like, I only need 4 people today. And you got 18 people standing there. Then they go like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, do we need 5? Okay, we'll take 5. 5. And then everyone else, you can go home. But by labor law, they have to pay you at least 4 hours out of your 8 hours or 12 hours you're going to be there. Because you're scheduled for 12 hours. You either come in at 7 at night or 7 in the morning, but you got to work 12 straight hours. Which is cool. That means in like 2-3 days, you'll have all your hours. You're going to be straight. Me, I do 4 days out of a week, and I was good. I had that extra check. So I was cool. It was good work for me, and me, I like to work. And once they realized, like, man, this guy's pretty smart. Why in the world do we have him here in this section? Let's move him up. So when they moved me up, I'm seeing how the structure run, and then I'm saying, oh my goodness, this is terrible. because you see the prejudiceness from certain employees towards other employees. And surprisingly, the majority of it is coming from the Hispanics. They put, like, all the managers, there's one black manager there, and everybody else is Hispanic. And they seem to go after the Hispanic person and promote him. Give him an easy job and give the black employee the hard jobs. Like, well, you black, you can lift that. It's like, no, don't touch it. That's why I tell him, I went over to him, I said, don't touch it. It says team lift on there. If it says team lift, don't touch it by yourself, ever. But he said, you can hold that. You can lift more than that. I don't care. If it got the sticker on there and it says team lift, you get somebody else to do it. If he don't want to do it, go tell the manager. And you tell him it got that yellow sticker on it, I'm not finna lift it. And if they try to fire you over it, you go in there, you tell the boss why. Make sure you take your camera phone, take a picture of it, and tell them exactly what happened. If it got that yellow stick on there, say team lift, don't you dare try to lift that by yourself. I don't care if you can lift it. Make him do his job. So once they knew I knew the laws, then they're like, oh, wait a minute, we got a problem here. Come on, let's take them to the good lunchroom. They have a lunchroom that's basically for all employees. Then they have like what they call the executive lunchroom. You got AC, carpet. You know, they're like, you're not the filth of the earth. Come up here with us, the good life. Now, if you just play your cards right, we're gonna hire you permanently. Permanently? For real? Like, yeah, like you're the guy we've been waiting for. You know, they try to sweet talk you into this whole deal. Just turn your blind eye to what's going on at the job. But I can't. I'm like, y'all picked me. But at first, I was just some black guy in a group with a bunch of Mexicans. And you're just going to take 4 or 5 Mexicans out here. And then the blacks who got to take one bus, one train, another train, and another bus to get there. And the buses run on schedules out here. They don't just run consistently like they do in the city. In the suburbs, the buses run on a time. And at a certain time, the buses stop running. So if you say they got 4 hours and they got to stand there and they got to leave, the next bus ain't coming to 3 hours. So you might as well let them work. Let them do something. You paying them for 4 hours. Now they just got to stay there. A lot of these people who didn't drive, they took the bus. So now they would need a ride to go back. So what I started doing was every time they did that, I was like, you know what? Hey, do you want to work today? Yeah, I just take my 4 hours. Yep, you can work for me. Go ahead. No, I want you to do it. No, that's okay. You can take her. I'm gonna drive her to the train station. Because I don't need the money. So, fine. 4 hours is good. 4 hours of pay is good. I get 4 hours just for showing up. I'm good. Cool. Now, do you want this and that? I'll take you to the train station, no problem. If you're not going to employ the blacks, they're just doing that for status quo, then I'm not going to work for you either. You're not going to exploit and use me to help you exploit us. No, it's not going to work. I don't care if moving me to an executive, hire me in. I'm not like that. And the brother that worked there, you know, he's a cool brother. He just don't want to get involved. He just want to get his money and he don't care about nothing else. You know, my boy sold him some bogus weed too. I'm sorry about that if you listen to this. You know, that's not my fault. I don't know nothing about weed. So he said it was good. So I said, well, he said it's good. So if you want to buy it from him, there he is. So he was all excited. I'm like, he smelled it and thought it was great. Then he smoked it and realized it was garbage, I guess. Then he was mad at me. I'm like, what you mad at me for? I don't smoke. Jeez. Don't get mad at me. So, anyway, endless to say, that company closed down. But this happens at a lot of different other places. I worked at another place, the same thing. It was the cliche Hispanic owner who think all black guys are lazy and don't want to work. And it annoyed him that I knew more about his job than he did. I'm like, how do you think I got hired? I got hired in the company not as a temp worker, as an employee. And I'm making he's making $1 more than me. I'm like, you're making $1, like $1.25 more than me. And you think because they put you the title, but I gotta go to the meetings, I gotta do this. I don't want to do that. I'm happy with this. That ain't worth my $1.25. You gotta come in early, kiss the boss's butt, and smile, and eat donuts with him and coffee. They can keep the donuts and coffee. I'm asleep. And all that for $1.25 extra an hour, and then you gotta come in and don't get paid for a certain no. Not me. I'm glad you have that position. So then he thought like, I'm gonna put all this work on him and see if he know how to do it and run them. I was like, dude, I've learned this machine a long time ago. But this newer one that's here, I read the instructions. I know how it's ran. I know what's wrong with it. If it does break down, I know how to fix it because I talked to the guy who actually fixes the machines. He was the first guy I talked to, was the engineer. If there's something goes wrong with the machine, I know how to troubleshoot it. So I don't even have to call him anymore. This was day 2. And then, of course, I had the largest production of anybody they ever had in there. See, what they go by production is not like how many you do or how many you have. When they go by production, they're not looking at like how many you do. They want to see how many you've done compared to how many are going to be missorts or just parts that didn't come out right. So if you got a whole back batch of, say you ran 6,000 parts and about 1,000 is defective or 2,000 is defective, and you really did like 4,000. What is it? I'm sorry about that, y'all. But I'm like, you really done 4,000. If I ran 6,000 parts, they were getting back maybe 12 defective, maybe 20. When before they were getting hundreds and thousands because the people really didn't care about the job. So if I had like 20 parts that were defective, I actually caught the defects and said it came in defective. Here it is. This came in defective. Here it is. My adherence was 99.9%, which means that I didn't get up to go to the bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Let me get up and get some water. Let me go get up and get some. No, I was where I needed to be, and I done my job every day to perfection. That's what you got out of me. It was so good that the company wanted me to make a video about how to run the machines. They recorded, they asked me for the release. I signed the papers, gave them the release, did the video for them. The manager's pissed. He's mad that they didn't ask him to do it. But all he want to do is flirt with every new temp girl that comes through the door. You know, he's a creepy old, creepy old divorced guy who got an old 90-something Mercedes and thinking like, yeah, man, that's my Mercedes. It's like, dude, it's a 94. I can pay for that in my next check. I ain't use one of these checks to pay for that. Are you kidding? This is 94. I'm like, well, I guess you could say you got a Mercedes, man. And maybe it'll work for some of these young girls that come up in here, but man, you're ridiculous. So he go over there, and of course he get them leeway, but everybody black come in, he's treating them like snot. So I was like, enough of this. I go and I talk to I was like, listen, I'm not a troublemaker, but we have to all be treated equally. You guys treat me fairly, but you have to treat every employee the same, even walking through the door. And then the brother who was there, man, like, dude, keep messing. I'm like, look, I already talked to the manager. I'm not a manager, and I just want to talk to the manager. But this is what I want you to do. Don't give them a reason. Don't let them win. They want to prove that you're inept at your job. They want to prove that you're stupid, that you just going to come in late and be lazy. Don't be that. Come to work on time. Have your stuff. Be prepared. You shouldn't have to come in here and don't have your safety goggles. You have a locker. You have everything in here to keep you. You have your work boots. You got everything. Be what you need to be to show them you're not what they think you are. Had that conversation with him. He came in and did exactly what he was supposed to do. All that coming in late stuff, he was coming in early, 20 minutes early. It's like, yeah, we finna show them. You see, all they needed was for somebody else like them to show them the proper way to be, and this is what you do. He was the ideal employee. And what happened? They let him go. We have a lack of work. But the girl who doesn't do anything because the supervisor's flirting with her, she's still there. So I go to human resources. We have very long conversations, things that I can't discuss. Because there's some things that came up about him, and I ain't finna go into it. But let's just say that human resources was watching him closely. Because they had just hired him for this position from another job, looking at all his credentials, without looking at why in the world was he leaving the other job that he just left. And they came to find out he was leaving the job he just left because he had the same type of situation at the other job. So that's why this job was available. The reason why he got divorced, his wife left him, is because he's a creepy old man. He kind of looks like George Lopez too. You know, it's pretty weird and funny, but yeah, he kind of look like George Lopez. He makes those stupid faces too. But he really thinks he's some like Miami playboy, and I'm like, dude, you're in Chicago or you're in Illinois. It's not in Miami, dude. These shirts is ridiculous. But they were on to him. But I was like, you guys let go of an employee to keep her. And they was like, well, I'm going to be honest with you. The company's moving faster than we think. Because they were building another facility in Texas. And they wanted the employees all there to say, hey, we're going to Texas. All the people that, I'm like, I'm not going to Texas. So all the people that weren't going to go to Texas, they could either go find another job or work to the end. And me, I'm just like, well, I'll work till you guys move to Texas. After that day, they were like, well, we're moving the process up. So we're going to start, all the people that's not going to Texas and didn't give us an answer. I'm like, well, you guys said She's like, yeah, I know, but now things have changed. They're escalating the plans and gonna start sending people out to Texas, like now. I'm like, oh, like right now? She was like, yeah, right now. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you can go ahead and send this person to Texas and that person to Texas. And since I ain't going to Texas, what about the guy y'all let go? I'm like, can y'all call him back? Because I will leave. And he can come back and take my position. Because he wanted to go to Texas. And I'm like, he's been coming in on time. He was doing his job. He knows the machine. I trained him. Let him come and take that job. I didn't need it. So, if it was for him to take that job, by the God blessings of God, I didn't need that job. He could take my position. But the supervisor, we had a meeting, they called me in the office and he was there. He was, well, I'm afraid to say this. You're a great employee. You've done everything that needed to be done, but we got to let people off because we're going to Texas. And your name was first on the list. Yeah, I was first on the list. Because he didn't already know. I already talked to HR and already said I was leaving. So I guess they told him. He was like, I want to be the one to tell him. That we're letting him go. So he had this smile on his face. Like, I'm sorry, buddy. You know, I wish there was something I could do. I was like, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, don't worry. Because somebody else is probably be coming in to take my position. And sure enough, the brother got his job back. And he started working again. And he ended up going to Texas with them. Now, here's the situation. That creepy old manager, he was planning on staying here for a while until they went to Texas. And then now the company's got him under like reevaluation. They're going to give him a lower position and bring in another supervisor because of his conduct. You know, he's having a lot of problems with full-time employees that were already there before he got there. So, you know, it is what it is. But it's your boy Carcino. This is what happens at these machine shop jobs. There's been a lot of prejudice in this, a lot of racial disagreements, and there's been nobody to police it. So I understand most of the things that is happening. But in certain instances too, yes, there are prejudice and races at these companies, but you gotta realize something. Don't be what they think you're going to do. Don't be the late employee. Don't be the one coming in there blaming everybody else for you coming in late. Don't be that guy. Don't be the guy that ain't coming with his supplies or doing the things he don't need to do. Do your job. Do your job. Come there, be a professional. They're hiring you to do work. They don't hire you there to sleep with all the girls that work there. They don't hire you there to talk to everybody that work there and keep them from working. You are paid to do a job that's not supposed to be fun for you. You're there to come there to do your job that they pay you for. Get your money and then leave. If there's time to fraternize, then you can. It's okay to say, hey, what's up? But if it's interfering with doing work, then don't do it. Don't give them a reason to be on your back. And if they on your back and you doing A, B, C, and D, go to human resources. Use the same resources they got to try to get you removed. Use the same resources to protect yourself from that nonsense. Because in that 10-year span, I was young. I never went to human resources for nothing. I had everything you could dream of. I had all this money in 401k, and I'm in my 20s making money that I was, in my teens when I started. By the time I was in my 20s, I had money that I was making more than my dad and my grandfather and them. Like, I had that kind of money coming in. They were like, wait a minute, how did you get this job? You know, it's like, so for me, I had all these benefits and working a shift that married guys had. You know, I was single and young, and they was like, how did this young guy get in here? And it was like, we thought it was going to be a summer job, but he's a workaholic, and he knows everything. He learned everything when he's here. So, hopefully this bring awareness to a lot of people who can relate. I'm out.